It has been over a month since I did this upcycle, and I'm finally getting around to doing another version from scratch. I'm going to take some measurements of the original so that I can share with you, I guess, an estimate of how long your shirt would need to be and how much fabric you'll need for the sleeves. So it's about 35 inches long. The sleeve is 29 inches from the base of the collar to the end of the cuff. And the hem, which falls just above the knee, is about 50 inches. So I'm going to make about 3 more of these. This is one of the shirts that I'm using. I wanted to let you know that you can use a shirt with a logo on it because it's not going to be visible. You're actually going to cut that part off when you do this upcycle. So keep that in mind when you're thrifting. I'm just laying this out, taking some measurements and trying to see how it compares to the original. The original shirt was a men's extra large. This one is a large. It's about 2 inches shorter. I think it'll work just fine. So I start pinning about 3 inches in from the edge of the shirt. Across the bottom, we have this dip, and I just measure 2 inches up from that point, and then I draw a line straight across. I have my shirt folded in half and pinned together, and I just cut along the line that I drew. Now that my shirt is prepped and ready to go, let's work with the main fabric. So that Egyptian fabric, it kind of was an all over print, a little bit muted, but there was blue in it, which is what led me in the direction of denim. So I knew going into the fabric store that I needed something that had an all over print, but a medium sized print, nothing too small. Big would have worked as well, but medium is what I was looking for. And it's floral, but it's not too like pretty and soft and dainty. Kind of bold, kind of funky, and there is that blue that I was looking for. I've got my fabric all smoothed out. This fabric is 54 inches wide and I have folded it in half. That fold line is going to be the length of my sleeve, meaning the fold is going to run from the shoulder down to the wrist. Now I'm going to cut the cuffs off of the denim sleeve. So remember, this shirt is about 2 inches shorter than the original. So if it's going to fit someone with a smaller frame, we also want to keep in mind that they probably have shorter arms, so they don't need 29 inches of sleeve. So I'm going to take this cuff and I'm going to place the edge of that cuff on 27. Also, I'm going to lay out the original just so I can get the slope of this sleeve right. I trace it and then I cut right along that line. Now I'm marking the very center point of that sleeve, and I'm going to line that pin up with the center point of the shoulder, like where the seam is. I'm going to work my way down the front of the shirt, tucking it under about a half an inch and pinning it in place all the way down. Now, when it comes to working around this curve, I am still tucking it in, but it's a whole lot more than just a half an inch. The best way that I can explain it is I know that I'm coming to the end of my main fabric and where the side seam of this sleeve is going to begin. So I am just allowing it to roll in naturally the way it just kind of wants to curve in that direction so that I can meet that point. You'll see what I'm talking about when I turn the shirt inside out and start to cut away what I've tucked in. So let's flip it over, and now you see it kind of moves from a half inch to 3/4 inch. It just kind of tapers around this curve, which is what you would expect. And so I cut that away. I'm going to flip the shirt over, do the same thing to the back, tucking and pinning and working around that curve, and then flipping it inside out and cutting away the extra. So now I'm just going to pin the bottom of the sleeve and try it on to see if we like the fit. And I think that is exactly what I want. So now I'm going to go back to the cutting table. And this is an extra step. I'm taking it all out. And I'm going to quickly make a pattern so that when I make the third one, I have a basic shape for what this piece looks like. So I'm just laying it out on some craft paper, tracing it, making my lines darker, and then I'm gonna go in, cut this out. That's it. Now next time I have a pattern. And as of right now, we still only have one sleeve. So I'm gonna lay my first sleeve on top of my fabric and cut out a second sleeve. Then I'm going to pin the sleeves back onto the shirt, but only at the shoulder this time because I know it's gonna fit. And I'm gonna head to the sewing machine. And we're almost done. I'm gonna take that cuff. I button it up just to make sure that it's lined up correctly. And then I'm going to gather my main fabric and make it fit inside of this cuff. Back to the sewing machine to sew both cuffs on. And then that is it. And then while I was in the mood, I did go ahead and start on the next one to see if my pattern worked. And it absolutely did. And it made it a whole lot easier to pin that sleeve in place, having it already pre-cut. And so here's the final result. I think I like the colors in this one better than the Egyptian one. And this is the second one that I made. A men's shirt. I think it was like a size 2X. So it will probably fit probably 2 to 3X. It's quite spacious. And let's see. I love the way the sleeves look pulled up. This is the larger one. Like I said, the smaller one is at the store that I sell at. But if you are interested in this one, you can check the description box below. The link to my store will be there, or you can just go to savesoulclothing.com. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.